Call.
It's our first programme of the year and we're live from studio with a number of new investigations. We'll keep you updated on calls coming in. But first...
Thanks for all your calls to Crime Call last month and indeed throughout 2011.
Our call takers are here until midnight tonight. The number 1800 40 50 60, or you can text CRIME followed by your information to 50308.
Or if you're calling from Northern Ireland, the number is 08000 393 393.
First tonight, Mariora Rostas led a short...
Now you may recall in September we made an appeal for information on missing Tipperary man Bobby Ryan. Well known around Casheland, Tipperary town, Bobby Ryan drove a truck for a local quarry and DJ'd on the pub circuit where he used the name Mr. Moonlight. He disappeared almost 8 months ago and his family fear the worst. Patrick, Michelle is obviously still distraught. This has really affected the family. How is the investigation going?
Still ongoing.
And you're keeping an open mind?
That's correct.
OK, well, let's start with what we do know. A very distinctive van Bobby Ryan was driving, Mr. Moonlight written across here. So very easy for people to remember if they saw it.
That's correct.
OK, well, Bancha Woods is where it was found, but there is a car that you haven't been able to trace yet.
That's correct, yes. There was an old type Toyota, probably a Carina and other pedestrians in there. That is...
It's a popular area for people to walk
very
their dogs
popular, yeah,
and to take the air.
Very popular, used all day long, yeah. OK,
well, this is, I suppose, a map of the area and where he was seen. Tell me about the two sightings that we mentioned there in Cordangan.
That morning, the van, Bobby's van.
When he left the house he left early that morning, he didn't have a lot of stuff with him.
No, he was wearing bottoms and he was wearing white runners. He also had on his possession, he had a mobile phone.
Patrick, thank you so much for that. If you know what happened to Bobby Ryan, please do call us now. Our call takers are waiting in studio to hear from you. The number 1800 40 50 60. Earlier this month, 3 men armed with sawn-off shotguns held up a cash-in-transit crew at a filling station at Carrs Hill, Carrigaline, County Cork. OK, Charlie, we're going to stop that there for a moment. Let's start with that black Saab. It was stolen some time before the raid actually happened, wasn't it? And come over here because the plates were switched on as well. Cloned plates were put on the car.
That's correct. These were the plates that were on it when it was...
Footage we're going to look at again of the raiders, and they have a few identifying marks that we're going to look at.
The last raider is considerably smaller.
It is important to point out that the security arrangements at this ATM have changed and been upped
They've
considerably.
Been drastically reviewed and upgraded.
OK, so this will not happen again?
Hopefully.
OK, let's take a look at what happened now. After the raiders made their getaway, the route they took seemed to have been planned to send Gardaí chasing in the wrong direction. Let's take a look at the map, Charlie. You're looking for witnesses along the getaway route, but what kind of roads were these they took?
Well, it went towards Cork City initially of the Saab along the route. We just went convoy with the Saab along that route. And
that might have been the car that lady spotted in the grave.
Local knowledge where they're turned into the GA.
Also, these guys, when they arrived, were wearing still the high-vis gear and they had the blue light flashing in the car.
That's correct, along that route.
Also, the cassette or case that the money was stolen and may have been discarded.
We had 2 cassettes and we're looking...
Look with that investigation. If you think you know anything that can help, call us on 1800 40 50 60 or free text CRIME followed by your information to 50308. Tonight's crime call. Still to come, more crimes caught on CCTV. We'll see you after the break. You're very welcome back to Crime Call. Keith, the phones have been busy so far tonight. Can you give us an update?
That's right.
Okay, you're also looking for help locating some people wanted on warrant.
That's right. We have pictures coming up on the screen as to where these guys might...
We also have a photo fit or CD fit picture from a witness. OK, Keith, thank you for that. Hopefully we will get some good calls, good leads tonight. The number again to call is 1800 40 50 60. Greg, you have more CCTV footage for us to look at. The first is a road rage incident in Bray.
That's right. Now, it's from the 16th of January of this year. It's only a couple of weeks ago at 5 in the evening, around that.
Terrible to think that happened during, we'll say, rush hour in the evening.
Yeah, and Overwatch, something that you would not think would be very serious, you know, going up the wrong way of the street.
Absolutely, it is a decent image, so hopefully somebody will be able to recognise him. The next one is to do with a few break-ins that have been happening in Dublin.
Yeah, that's right. It's a few pieces of CCTV from apartment blocks around Dublin where break-ins happened and some property was stolen. So there's a couple of people that Gardaí are looking to identify
this evening, or help identify people that Gardaí want to get to know. Call us now on 1800 40 50 60, or if you're calling from Northern Ireland, the number is 08000 393 393. Soaring oil costs have pushed the price of filling an average tank of over 800 litres to over €700. And with most domestic tanks exposed and unprotected, an easy target for thieves. Kelvin, what can you tell us about what's happening?
Yeah, home heating oil has become a lot more attractive for thieves, I suppose, as we were saying security on this programme before. This is called target hardening. We would say in relation to positioning of the tank to make sure that it can't be seen from the front or from your own home as near to the house as possible. We've talked about alarms on these tanks. These are oil gauges that if there's a sudden drop in oil level, that they'll send an alarm to your home or to your phone and let you know that something's going on. Be asking people to make sure there's a good lock on the top of the tank. We'll be asking people again to get security lights in and around their properties, motion detecting lights, that sort of thing.
So how do you protect your oil tanker without your garden starting to look like the inside of an industrial estate?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you wanted, you could have put your tank in a cage, that sort of thing. But like you can see in the picture there's a thing called defensive planting. That's when you plant thorny trees or bushes in and around the base of your oil tank.
Special advice then made for maybe schools or businesses who obviously have big tanks as well.
Yeah, I suppose we'd be saying to, and again, if you want any more advice.
For that good advice there. For more crime prevention information, you can also email Kelvin at crimecall@garda.ie. All right, our time is almost up, Keith. It is very noisy behind us.
Yep.
There are a lot of calls coming in.
It's been very busy on the phones tonight, Grainne. One piece that we would like to get some more calls on, that assault on Berg Quay, where we see a man coming up behind the female and pushing her to the ground. We'd like to get some more information on that. If anybody has any information that they could give us on that, call the programme tonight.
OK, thanks very much for that. And Keith, remember our call takers are going to be here till midnight tonight. And that is it tonight for tonight's programme. Hopefully your information will lead to breakthroughs.
Remember, some small detail from you could be of great significance in an investigation.
We'll be back with you on Tuesday, the 28th of February. Until then, a very good night.
And take care.
And next Tuesday night, in our final visit with the 21st century children in the current series, David Coleman points out the telltale signs illustrating the 3-year-old's temperaments and developing personalities. That's next Tuesday at 10:15. Next tonight, though...